Rebecca here from Sewing an Imperfect Life. Great to have you here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel, I like to talk about the things that I've made, the things I'm looking forward to making, where I get my inspiration from, as well as how to reuse and repurpose some fabrics. It is the long weekend here in Australia, and I set aside all this time to do some sewing, and I've got a million projects ready to go. So of course I have done none of them. I find it very difficult to start projects. Once I get going, good, but starting them is a bit tricky for me. So I've gone down a little rabbit hole instead. My rabbit hole of inspiration today is about Prairie patterns. So it's a little bit like cottagecore, except perhaps a little bit more frilly, a little bit more old US Western sort of style. So I've gathered up some really awesome PDF patterns for prairie style dresses and shirts and skirts. A lot of these may be from indie pattern makers that you have not heard of before. I know a lot of you have previously really appreciated me searching out some different sorts of patterns, and I really enjoy that. So while I haven't started my projects, I have really enjoyed going down this route today. So if you're ready to jump into a bit of a prairie style pattern rabbit hole with me, come along, let's have a look. Okay, I hope you've got yourself a cuppa like me and maybe a snack or two. What I really love about a lot of these patterns today is there's a lot of variety in them. They can look totally different when you change the weight of the fabric, obviously the pattern of the fabric, whether you put in or leave off embellishments, whether you change the length of the sleeve or the skirt. Yeah, so you can get a lot of bang for your buck from some of these patterns. Let's start off with having a look at skirts. This first skirt is the one that started my little rabbit hole. I saw that it was a new release. This is called the Esther set, and this is a top and a skirt from High Country Women. The Esther set is the perfect lightweight summer set. The Esther tank has two neckline options, a scoop neck or a high neck, and uses a facing technique to finish the neckline and armholes, allowing them to lay flatter than a bias binding technique would. The Esther skirt, this is what I was really looking at. The Esther skirt is a tiered skirt with a short button placket. It is fitted in front with a structured waistband, but has an elastic waistband in the back for a comfortable fit and pull-on functionality. All right, so that's my little info for the first skirt. I'm thinking prairie skirts a little bit, quite a bit of gathering, sometimes some extra frill and button details, and nearly always maxi length. I will always put the links below, so they're really easy for you to find if you're interested in following up with these patterns or looking at more from these pattern companies. My next choice of pattern is also a set. It's from Folkwear Patterns, and it's called the School Mistress shirt, waist and skirt sewing pattern. It dates from about 1907, a period when women's clothing became more man-tailored. Okay, the elegant princess line in the back of the shirtwaist is accented by 2 wide tucks that extend over the shoulders to the front. There's a pretty scalloped front opening and gathers at the back waist, which soften the silhouette. Moderate full set-in sleeves. Wear it with the sweeping 7-gore skirt. The slimming lines of the 7-gore skirt flatters most figures. An inverted back pleat below the centre back closure adds fullness and a sweeping line with optional bias trim. So loads of different ways you could put those two together, or definitely make them as separates. The next skirt pattern you've probably heard of already. It's the Henrietta skirt by Spaghetti Western Sewing. The Henrietta skirt is inspired by horse girl era's 18th century pannier skirts and looking hot and mysterious while running errands. Love that description. The skirt has generous volume with a flexible and comfortable elastic waist. The sewing difficulty level is suitable for beginners and beyond. And have a look at the inspo. The next skirt is from George's portfolio. It's called the Ali skirt. It's maxi. It can be either maxi or mini length, but it reminded me of Prairie type things because of its length and because it has lots of panels that you put together. Yeah, you could definitely make this more modern by the fabric that you choose or by shortening it, but I have seen a lot of maxi skirts lately, especially in denim, and then they're modernized by the kind of top that you put with it. All right, let me describe this skirt. The Ali skirt embodies timeless elegance with a classic A-line silhouette, intentional panel lines with exposed seams, and top stitching to add texture and dimension to the visual appeal. The next skirt is called the Zamora skirt by Madswick Patterns. You've probably heard of that pattern company. It's an elastic waist skirt. It's a midi length. If you wanted to make it maxi, of course you can extend it. The Zamora skirt is the perfect flowy skirt featuring a midi length elasticated waistband skirt for comfort. It has 2 gathered tiers and varying widths of tucks to create visual interest. Again, this is for confident beginners. The last skirt pattern I have for you in this Prairie style pattern category is the one that perhaps fits this category the best, and I find actually the most interesting. It's called the Saturday skirt, and it is by Caden Norton Patterns. Found them on Etsy. So the Saturday skirt is a drop waist style skirt featuring 4 different views, including 2 different yokes. The skirt features a lap zipper with a button closure, optional belt loops, and endless styling opportunities. This is an intermediate pattern, but the pattern maker has said, I do hope adventurous beginners give it a try. The video tutorial helps walk you through the tricky steps, making it completely doable for all skill levels. Okay, I hope you enjoyed some of those skirt Prairie style Western patterns. Let's have a look at some tops or blouses that you might put with them. I've come across 2 more skirt patterns from Folkwear Patterns that fit this Prairie style category today, and I think they're worth sharing, so I'm going to pop them in. Okay, this first one is called the 206 Quilted Prairie Skirt. So take your quilting skills that you've been using to make your quilted jackets over the last few years and put them into this beautiful skirt. It's really lovely. This elaborately quilted petticoat was a treasured item in an 18th to 19th century wardrobe, worn for both fashion and warmth. Overskirts were raised, divided and pulled aside to display the elegant handiwork. Western pioneers made simpler calico versions of this skirt, and later Victorian versions were machine quilted with using taffeta and with flounces. I like this really plain one that's just got beautiful embroidery. It's lovely. The second one I came across from Folkwear Patterns is another one that has some beautiful handiwork. The shape of it is quite simple, but the pieces that you put together make it rather special. It's called the 243 Rodeo Cowgirl Skirt. It says, head for cowgirl up, head for the rodeo, saloon or dance floor in this Western styled skirt with lots of flair. This sewing pattern has two views, a flared A-line silhouette, shaped waistline with front and back darts, waist facing, mid-calf length, lace-up back closing, and 6 different easy-to-apply hip yoke shapes for fun. View B has a swishy hem, flounce, and hip pocket yoke. Yeah, this looks really fun. If you are into your patchwork and putting small pieces together, this is a really great option. It would be a fantastic piece to have. I've already talked about 2 blouse patterns that came as kind of a set with the skirt patterns. The next one I want to talk to you about is also by Madswick Patterns, and it's quite well known in the indie pattern world, and that is the Raider blouse. The Raider blouse is designer statement blouse. It includes a round circular yoke, pin tucks, gathered yoke, binding hem, collar stand, and optional ruffles. You can choose from 3 view options: button up front, simple yoke, or a gathered yoke, short and long sleeves, and 2 length options, cropped and long. It's an intermediate level sewing pattern that has beginner friendly sewing instructions and illustrations to make this pattern possible for those just starting their sewing journey. And there's a lot of 5-star reviews on Etsy for this pattern. The next Prairie style blouse pattern I have for you is from iKatie. It could also be made into a dress, and I'll pop both blouse and dress inspiration pictures in for you. It's a sewing pattern for women. It can be a t-shirt, a blouse or dress. There's a yoke with ruffles. It has 2 lengths, blouse or dress above the knee. You can put in a stand collar with ruffles. You can have classic long sleeves or kimono style short sleeves. I think they're called grown-on sleeves now. And it's a versatile sewing pattern with 8 possible versions. The 2 kind of layers of ruffles made it seem kind of Prairie style to me. The high neck, I feel like the Prairie style is all about loads of coverage, as well as lots of frill and pretty embellishments. The next blouse I have for you, which I feel might fall into this category depending on the kind of fabric that you use. If you use something pretty and floral or gingham, I feel like it would take this into a Prairie style, because this has buttons down the front and a high neckline. This is called the Canary Sewing Pattern by Charlie Darwin Textiles. With over 12 different design variations, the Canary pattern offers super versatility. Whether you go cropped or peplum, butterfly or long sleeve, this pattern will take your sewing experience to the next level. And I do love how many different variations this pattern has. I've been admiring some Charlie Darwin Textiles for a long time, but I'm actually yet to try one of her patterns. I saw recently that she's chosen one of her ready-made products to make into a PDF pattern, and that's another blouse or shirt, and I'm really interested in that one when it's finally finished being put together and we're able to buy it. Let's have a look at some Prairie style dresses. Most of these dresses are midi to maxi dresses, and they have variations on sleeves and collars. Some of them perhaps could fall into more your cottagecore depending on which extras you sew them up with. This first one is called the Junie Dress by the Ordinary Folk Pattern Company. The Junie Dress Peter Pan collar dress sewing pattern for women is beginner-friendly sewing digital PDF Prairie cottage core style. There you go. They mentioned both on the website. The pattern comes with many variations that allows the pattern to be used over and over with a different result each time. So, two different waistlines. So one of them I think is straight and the other one curves quite a bit. 3 different sleeve options, button placket or full front bodice, a mini length, a midi or a maxi length, a midi maxi tiered length if you want, and pockets. The versatility makes it a wardrobe essential that can also be sewn for different warmths and seasons depending on the variations and fabrics chosen. Yeah, I do like that about all these patterns. You can change it up for summer, for winter, or make it a mid-weight and a little bit oversized so it's airy enough for summer, but you can layer it up for autumn or winter. The Aronia house dress sewing pattern. This is by Miranda Riley Patterns, who I had not heard of before. Quite a few of these pattern companies I had not heard of before I went down my little rabbit hole or adventure today. Okay, this pattern is designed with flexibility in mind. It includes 3 sleeve options. Once again, thank you very much, Miranda Riley. 2 pocket options and 3 skirt options to give you maximum mix and match possibilities. It also includes a lace trim option for the bodice. The skirt is designed with 8 inches of waist ease, which is gathered into your personal waist measurement using either elastic or a drawstring. The faux wrap front can be nursing friendly. The elastic waist makes it possible to wear this dress during pregnancy and postpartum. The pattern is designed for an intermediate sewist, but there is an accompanying YouTube instruction video to help beginners. The next dress is from Folkwear Patterns again. They have some really excellent patterns that fit this category. It's called the 246 Calico Day Dress, and again there are quite a few variations. They've got a traditional dress which has a whole lot of embellishments, and then they've got a contemporary dress. This is a little bit different from the others because it's a lot more tailored and fitted. So this is their description. Turn of the century women lingered over breakfast in this soft, pleated, closely fitted house dress or wrapper before struggling into their corsets. This pattern recreates this day dress look. The buttoned front lining and the princess line in the back pull in the dress, creating a fitted bodice, while pleats at the center, front and back are held in place with waist tiers and simple square collar. I like that the square collar was a little bit different from the rounded or high or the V cross from a previous one. Rounded yokes finished with ruffles over the shoulder complete the traditional dress and may be omitted for a simple version. Full sleeves are gathered at the top and finished with simple button cuffs. The skirt, fitted over the hips, falls to a wide flounce at the ankle. This next pattern kind of falls into this category. I think it's a more modernized, pared back version of this. This is a Liberty pattern. This is the Liberty Bella tea dress. The Bella tea dress has a streamlined style with a structured waist and puff sleeves. A 40s inflected silhouette with modern charm. The last dress I have for you today is from one of my favorite pattern companies, Pauline Alice. And this is actually a pattern I have and intend to make at some stage, but not anytime soon because it's a little bit involved. It's called the Ibby dress. It's a romantic maxi dress with gathered tiers and loose shape, raglan sleeves and inseam pockets, asymmetrical hem, which is slightly shorter on the front. Again, there are loads of different variations. Says view A through to view F. And of course, you could even combine some of those things. So some of the variations are short sleeves, tiers, buttons on the back, cross straps, aligned bodice, a shirt collar, long sleeves with cuffs. I think I already said, did I say a wrap? A wrap dress. Anyway, I'll put it in the images so you can see all the variations. This is probably my favorite from today. I really like Pauline Alice patterns. I think she's able to put together some traditional things that feel quite comforting and modern at the same time. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of inspo and this particular style of pattern. If you've got some others that you think fit this category, please add it to the comments. I love it when you do that. It's great to share. Wherever you are across the world, I really hope that you're enjoying something that you've made or you're enjoying making something, whether it be a piece of clothing, a delicious cake, a cozy meal, a cup of tea. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. If you liked watching, give me a thumbs up. If you want to support me, at the bottom of the comments, I always put my Ko-fi account in, but just having you here is absolutely fantastic.